Joining us now from Capitol Hill is a member of the House, South Carolina Republican, Congressman Ralph Norman. Congressman Norman, thank you for being with us.
Great to be with you.
We'll get started right off the bat here. You are a member of the Budget Committee as well as the Freedom Caucus. Yesterday on X, you posted after the Senate passed their version of the bill. You said, but let's be honest, the spending provisions in this thing are massive and will blow up the deficit. We can't keep mortgaging our future. How are you planning to vote today?
Well, first of all, with reconciliation, we have one chance, one moment to curb the spending that has plagued this country and is a cancer that's going to take this country down if we don't get it under control. The House bill that we sent over did just that. Our baseline cut was $1.6 trillion with an optimum of $2 trillion. We met the 1.6, and the Senate basically violated what we sent over in the House. For every dollar we had that was spent, you had to cut a dollar, and it just didn't do that. Secondly, a lot of the key reforms, like with the Inflation Reduction Act, the Green New Scam, was put back in place. And, I don't know how long we can continue to do this. So our position was to send it back, to vote it down, send it back to the Senate with some key changes that we agreed to in the House. And, we'll see how it plays out today. I voted against it in the Rules Committee yesterday. Of course, it passed. But it will be on the floor today, and we'll see exactly what's coming from it. But what I see right now, I don't like.
And you said there were proposed changes. Tell us about some of the further cuts that you support or want to see in the bill. Does that include changes to tax provisions?
Well, yeah, the tax provisions, but there are other things like funding for sex surgeries was put back in. On the IRA credits, they had foreign entity exclusions where China could, we had to jump through hoops before they were allowed to get a paycheck from the American people. That was put back in. Funding for illegals and Medicaid. We fought hard for that, as well as able-bodied men. That was put back in there with the Senate bill. It makes no sense. And so that's why we're taking the stand that we are. And we want to pass what President Trump wants. I mean, he was for taking all the IRA green scam deals out. And instead of getting them out, we're pretty much cementing them in for years to come. Funding for Planned Parenthood. We had it banned for a decade. They put it only banned for a year. Why a year? If it's wrong for a year, why isn't it wrong for 10 years? It's things like that to me are benchmarks that we have to follow and renegotiate with the Senate. Now, I know the Senate's on a short number of people that they can lose, and it's the same thing in the House. But when are we going to face this problem of overspending? And that's probably the major thing, along with the other provisions that just, again, spin this country into oblivion.
You are a member of the Freedom Caucus. Have you talked to your fellow caucus members, and how are they feeling about the bill? Have any of them expressed optimism for the bill? Are they going to be supporting it?
We'll see. We've got a meeting after this interview. We'll be meeting with our Freedom Caucus, but others as well that had issues with it and wanted to know why we didn't get the House bill, which I had to swallow hard to support it because did it have the meaningful cuts that we thought? No. The Senate initially promised that instead of the $1.6 trillion and the $2 trillion optimum, they were going to cut $5 trillion. Well, that vanished in midair. So I guess it's our time to deliver for the American people, and it's just not happening. Now, we'll see what happens and see the debate and see what, if any changes at this last minute would be made. But I doubt it, and we'll see if it passes.
You represent South Carolina's 5th District. a portion of that district is rural. One of the cuts is to rural hospitals. What can you tell us about that provision and how it could impact your constituents?
Well, the left keeps saying it's cuts. It's not. It's giving money to those who deserve it. And the provider bill, which allows states to basically pay $1 and get $9 from the federal government, that's all borrowed money. And again, the illegals were put back in, 1.3 million illegals supposedly across this country. That was a Biden era addition, along with the Green New Deal. We call them the Green New scams. But there are no Medicaid cuts. It's just making sure that those who really need it, those who are illegal, should not get a paycheck. Those able-bodied Americans who could go to work but choose not to should not get a paycheck. Those were all watered down and really put back in the Senate bill, which we're getting a lot of people that are receiving those funds that are upset. But it can't keep going the way that it has been going. And again, this is on borrowed money that the federal government's having to borrow in addition to this $37 trillion debt we've already had now.
President Trump has called out Republicans who have opposed the legislation and threatened primaries in some cases. Your reaction to that?
President Trump is a tremendous ally. You will never hear me criticize him about anything. This means a lot to him. We're actually meeting with him at 11 o'clock, a group of us. But I don't criticize him for that. I mean, he feels strongly about it. And, we're trying to go back to the well and renegotiate something that he wanted anyway. And so, that's the case we'll be making to him. And again, on the subsidies, the giveaways, the $7,500 for electric cars, that and the wind and solar dollars that go to that, we can't keep sustaining that and paying for that. He's for abolishing all of them. That's what we're trying to do. And that's the reason that we raise, the issue about not taking what the Senate has, but go back to work. And I realize it may run past the July 4th deadline, but I think getting this right the first time, we'll not have a second bite at the apple. We do right now.
Congressman Norman, Republican of South Carolina, thank you so much for your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.